want to ask if Jada Pinkett does have a spell on Will Smith. Did she put a spell on him? So we're going to ask the bones that. Did Jada Pinkett put a spell on Will Smith? Because he seems to tolerate a lot. He seems to take a lot. And it's to the point where people are like, what is your right? What is your boundary here? What is your deal breaker? Because he seems to take so much, and it's like he doesn't have a deal breaker. So did she put a spell on him? Okay. So I don't see where she has used magic on him, or if she has put a spell on him. I don't see that. What I do see is her feminine energy is very attractive. We're at a time where we have a lot of girls, but we don't have a lot of ladies. And so when someone who is feminine, who is has understands how to use that feminine energy, and knows how to honor it and how to wield it, that person is quite attractive. And so we see that that spirit takes care of her. Her divine feminine spirits that walk with her take care of her, because she understands how to wield that sort of feminine power. All right. And so this kind of spell is the reason that it's a spell, and the reason that it works is because, like I said, he's attracted to that. A lot of people are attracted to that because you don't see a lot of ladies, and you don't see a lot of feminine energy that is outwardly put out there. So that's what's attractive. And like I said, it's been attractive to most of the men that she has entertained. A lot of people, they see, oh, she's from this rough neighborhood, and oh, she's she sold drugs in the past, and she's had some sort of experiences from the street. But what this is saying is that the three men who have loved her, Will, Tupac, and August Alsina, they have been very attracted to the fact that she understands how to use her feminine energy to get what she wants. And so for these men, it has been it triggers them. It attracts them. Once they see that display of femininity, it's a head turner for them. And so, this is what, a lot of people won't know. And this is something that they won't say. They won't say that, I was around a lot of women who were not feminine. And so when I saw this woman who has this sort of, in the tarot, this sort of goddess type energy, it's really attracted me. Yeah, so Jada, this was something that was important for her. Having Will is like really important for her. A lot of people look at the affairs with August Alsina, they look at Tupac, but Will is very important to Jada. And so the spirits took care of her in this way because of how important he is to her mission, to her vision, and to her purpose. And so that's what's important. Oftentimes we miss the fact that they were supposed to encounter one another. They were supposed to be married to one another. This isn't a relationship this was supposed to be a lifetime commitment, and it was a gift from both sides, right? So his ancestors and her ancestors, like, they understood that these two were supposed to get married and they were supposed to have this son. So all of this is and this daughter. So all of this is you know, this sort of soul agreement between these ancestors that walk with the both of them. So there's a spiritual uh, spirit is at work, and that's the reason why they are together. Oftentimes, when you look at situations like the marriage between Kim and Kanye, you start to get a little bit jaded, and you forget that the ancestors um, are involved in your marital affairs. Why? Because your marriage is important, and being married is important to the ancestors. And so what you see is that this is very important to them. Now there is, they were protected from a lot of the dangers of what they would deal with in Hollywood because they were a power couple. And so this was important to them. This is important to the type of money that they had come into, because neither one of them came from this sort of wealth. And so, it's important for them to be together in this way because it protected them from all of the different vices and issues that they would have had in Hollywood, being as famous as they are, and with Will Smith being as wealthy as he was. And so, it's just very, clear, like I said, that the ancestors brought them together to create this power couple. That is what, that was the purpose for bringing them together. And they had to meet around the time that they were in their 20s. What I'm seeing in this board, this was important because this was it looks as if they were able to like I said, save each other in a way, because this type of relationship was beneficial to the both of them, and it was beneficial to both of their ancestors. So their ancestors is the reason why this couple is together. And so the reason why I would say that this is not a spell per se on Will Smith is because I see all of the benefits to their bloodline that happened because of this particular marriage. But I am going to very quickly ask about what's going on with Jada in August, because I don't know if they're talking, but they might be talking. You never know. Let me see what's going on with Jada. Is she talking to him? Like, what is going on? Poor thing. What is going on? Oh my. Oh my, people. I really thought yeah, I really thought that that when they came out that this was the end, right? From what I'm saying, what okay. So when they came out about the relationship and the affair, it didn't mean that they stopped seeing each other. So here we are as a public being exposed to a couple that wants to live this sort of polygamous lifestyle in our face, right? And this is okay. I wasn't expecting this. I need to straighten myself up. Okay. So I thought that everything was over. Maybe you guys thought, some of you guys thought, you can tell me in the comments, that this situation was over. But it looks like, based on what I'm seeing in the bones, is that they have continued, right? It looks like they have continued to talk to one another in that way. And the reason that they have done that is because they feel like now that they confess, kind of, that everything is out in the open. And so, um, they don't have to hide like they used to. They don't have to hide that they were sleeping together like they used to. Not that they're going to totally be out in the public eye, but they kind of feel like there's some sort of like relief of like, this went terrible, but at least at least the public knows that that we slept together, right? So we don't have to completely hide it, because we kind of talked about it, but we kind of didn't talk about it. So it just looks like, with the way that they tried to come out there polygamous and show the public what was going on in their private life, the Smith family, they got a lot of negative backlash. And so what happened is that they had to find some way to talk about this in a way that it looked like it was just some sort of disruption within their marriage. Everything's fine now. This is old. This is in the past. But it doesn't look like this is in the past based on these bones. I saw the images for their marriage, and I do see this marriage now. And so August needs to be very careful about these spiritual ceremonies, because just they are just as powerful, if not more powerful, than a church wedding. So you guys need to understand that whenever you make these sort of spiritual bonds and spiritual ties with people, if you go to get these sort of spiritual marriages because you don't want to do it on paper, those are just as powerful, if not more powerful, bonds and connections and commitments than if you were to go to the justice of the peace. Because if you go downtown, if it doesn't work out, you can get a divorce. But if you go to these spirits that bind you together, it's not going to be that easy to tell these spirits that you're breaking this commitment that you have with this other person. So, like I said, it looks like they have found a way to kind of like let people know what was going on. To kind of like go public, but not really, so that they could do what they wanted to do. So it just looks like the Smiths are continuing their polygamous lifestyle. And August, because of his spiritual bonds with Jada Pinkett, he's really not going anywhere like he should have. So again, I was looking at this particular type of witch pussy, and I'm telling you, like, I don't know. We might get down. Do you guys think it's Erica? Let me know in the comments, because the rest of for Kim Kardashian, when we looked at her reading, she was picking the wrong types of targets, picking a group of men, well, at least two of her targets, two of the men that she's had a relationship with were bipolar. It's very hard to do magic on that particular group. And now we've got Jada Smith, who her ancestors are involved in creating this power couple between her and Will Smith because it's beneficial to their bloodlines. And it saved them too. It saved them from a lot of the perils and a lot of the you know problems or horrors that they would have gone through in Hollywood. So let's ask, is Jada Pinkett's her sexual powers bind her lovers? So I'm gonna throw bones on that. Jada, you are a mess. What in the world? I thought you were supposed to be done with August. You made up with your husband and made this little red table and all that. Took him back to the table. Whoever he looked like he was sad or crying. Then later on, he said it was some caffeine. I don't know. He looked like he was crying to me. But you guys let me know what you thought. But it just, my thing is, I thought that they weren't talking to each other. So let me see if Jada Pinkett Smith has the power to bind her lovers, right? So again, if you guys make sure you guys are hitting the like button. I need my likes. Make sure you hit the like button. Share, this particular post. Share this live. Like I said, like it because you love it, right? Like it because you love it. Send your love donations to Al Proc 2. So definitely send your love donations. Like I said, like this because you love it. And another thing, don't forget, guys, that I am mentoring students. I have the Drill Masters JAVO, where I teach students about African spirituality. I have the House of Cards, where I strictly go back to the basics to talk about divination. And then I also have the Voodoo Priest program because I am training people to become priests. And we have, this very safe place, this very official place that you guys can come to get initiated into Haitian Voodoo. Right? So come and make sure that you join. I've placed my Discord in the chat so that you guys know where to go. Like I said, I can't wait to have you guys book with me. Book these ancestral life path readings with me. I can't wait to have you guys book these private tutoring sessions. And I would love to have you in one of my mentorship programs. And of course, in the Carolina Voodoo University, which is founded by me. So, does Jada Pinkett have these powers to bind these men to her? And so what I do see and what jumps out at me is that Spirit has to help her keep these men. She's she's very feminine. That's like a great way to attract these men. Those three men, Tupac Shakur, Will Smith, and August Alsina, were attracted to her because of her femininity. Like I said, we're in a time where we have a lot of girls, but we don't have a lot of ladies. And so Spirit has to help her do that. She's gone through several times where she's been quite disappointed in the past with her inability to keep her man. And this is before Will Smith. I'm not talking about Will Smith because this relationship, like I said, the ancestors brought them together and they're being very she's being very successful with maintaining this open relationship. But so she's not really able to keep her man. And so this reading is pointing to her track record before Will Smith. Okay. So guys, remember, she at one point in time she dated Grant Hill, You know how that turned out. You know, the rumors were she went down to that they broke up. Okay. And so she hasn't been able to do that, and so spirit did definitely have to step in, and that's why Will Smith is so important to her, because before Will Smith she had problems sustaining these types of relationships, and so no, spirit had to help her. She had to learn how to be with you know, uh, this type of masculine energy. She had to learn um, while she was with Will Smith how to be in a relationship with a man. And so and listen, I've already heard some of the rumors out there um about some of the other types of genders that she likes to entertain, but I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about the divine masculine, because Bosu is showing up and he's saying that she had to learn how to be in a relationship with a man. The first man that she was that women are in a relationship with are their fathers. So this points back to the things that were occurring with her father and what she didn't learn in terms of keeping a long-term commitment in a marriage with a man. Okay, so she had to learn this, and so spirit was very instrumental in helping her be able to sustain this marriage that she's in. It was important for them to bring this power couple together, but also it was important because she has the opportunity to learn how to be in relationship with this man. um they wanted her to have the children that she has, so this was also really important. Also her showing people what it's like to be in blended family. This was important. uh so she doesn't have the power to, so maybe she has to go to maybe Jada Pinkett Smith has to go to the back of the queue in terms of which pussy. Okay, she might be a little bit behind. She might be a little bit behind Kim Kardashian, because her track record before Will Smith, she wasn't able to keep these men. So I don't know, we might have to put her uh might have to rank her towards the back, but we haven't ran Erica Badu. But let's jump back into this reading. um and also, you guys, make sure you like this video, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe. Like I said, like it because you love it. Make sure that you check me out at www.blackspectrumnetwork.com/say, because I do the ancestral life path reading. So you need to definitely book those. The ancestral life path reading is so important, so that you're not doing trial and error when you're trying to work with these ancestors. I give you the way that your altar should be set up, prayer and meditation rituals, spell work that you need to do to address your areas of opportunity or areas of healing, and so much more. And I give you messages from them, and I also look at your generational pathology. So make sure you go to www.blackspectrumnetwork.com/say to book your ancestral life path readings with me. Okay, so this is going to be important. And also I do private tutoring, so if you're enjoying these readings, make sure that you book to get private tutoring with me. And also a step up from that is to join my mentorship programs, which is the JAVO, the House of Cards, and the Voodoo Priest program, which is your pathway to initiation into Haitian Voodoo. Okay, so jumping back into this reading, I wanted to look and see if she could, if Jada Pinkett could bind her lovers, and she's not able to. And so, like I said, spirit has to step in to really help her because, the relationships before Will Smith just didn't work out. Like I said, the binding just did not occur there. Um, like I said, she had endured like some cheating, some affairs, um, and this changed her. So so being exposed to cheating kind of like lowered her expectations as to what would happen when you're in this sort of committed relationship. So this changed Jada Pinkett when she saw, lovers in the past before Will Smith that were cheating on her. And so, this also kind of like helps her be open to this polyamorous situation that she finds herself in because from what I see, her exposure to cheating in these sorts of relationships has um has transformed her in a way. And she feels like this has transformed her the best way. Around 7 years, her and Will, they always talk about relationships and that 7 year itch, but it looks like around 7 years into their marriage, they were struggling too, and they were looking at divorce then as well. So this issue that happened a couple years ago with August Alsina is not the first time that this particular couple has had issues in their marriage. It's not something that they pursued where they went and filed the paperwork, but they were looking you know towards a split. And this is and what happened during the time that she had the entanglement with August Alsina was not the first time that they've had these problems. So I'm going to pull some clarifiers on this screw because it's over the clock. All right, so show me why we have the screw on the clock. Show me why we have this screw on the clock. Yeah, so Jada Pinkett, guys, we might have to put her to the back of the queue in terms of her witch pussy because it just looked like it's not working like it needs to work for her to bind these lovers like she needs to bind them. Let's look at this screw. Pull 3 cards. Yeah, I love to read playing cards. Love it. So I have the two of diamonds, the 8 of spades in reverse, and then I have the 7 of clubs. You know, we go through spiritual cycles. So I always teach people that when you're in a spiritual cycle, you see the spades. When you're in a material cycle, you see the diamonds. The clubs have power over the hearts, Sue. And if you can access the power of the club, then you can heal childhood wounds. So when we look at this spread, this screw is basically talking about being, you know, the 8 have power with groups of women. The 8 of spades does. The 8 of spades can also be a workaholic and all of that. So this basically looks at all the different types of ways that she tried to partner with people that meant something to her that didn't work out. So this talks about all the time that she felt like she wasted on these men in the past for them to for these relationships to not work out. The different you know, ways that she tried to keep these relationships stable, to, you know, make this other person that she's with happy. And like I said, it just didn't work out. And she didn't recognize um, that the ancestors were bringing her to the place that she is now with Will Smith. And so it has taken this sort of spiritual awakening for her after the information with August Alsina came out, after the problems with Will Smith. It's taken some time for her to recognize that spirit is at work, and that spirit is the reason that she is with Will Smith. So, like I said, we might have to put her at the back of the queue.
Fuel my fire, take me higher, I'll be your liar too. Cause when we're here, there's nothing better than the skyline view. Ooh, 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 ooh. I love this sky